Hey guys, my name is Fibbonacci, and in today's video, we're actually going to go over Fibonacci, what is it, how to use Fibonacci levels in trading, where it came from. Fibonacci is in the sacred geometry family, so we're going to go over the numbers, why it's called the golden ratio, and how it mysteriously kind of appears in nature and architecture. It is in the sacred geometry family. The Fibonacci numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and so on and so forth. So the way that the Fibonacci numbers are developed is as the numbers go on in their sequence, then the new number will be the sum of the two preceding numbers in its sequence. For example, 13 is the sum of 5 plus 8. And 8 is the sum of 5 plus 3. 3 is the sum of 2 plus 1, and 1 is the sum of 1 plus 0. Each number is 1.68 times greater than the previous number, and the inverse, which is if you were to divide 1 by 1.618, the new number, or the answer to the number, would be 0.618. Making these numbers a golden ratio, or phi, more so or more commonly used 0.618. The next number in the Fibonacci world is 0.382, and that number is derived from dividing a number in the series by two numbers to the right. Universally, the next part of the sequence, the next relevant number in the sequence, is 0.382. So if you divide any number in the sequence, take 55 for example, and you divide it by 144, which is 2 levels to the right, that number will equal 0.382. So, 144 divided by 377 will equal 0.382, and so on and so forth. So as I've said before, this number is actually universally important. It appears all over nature. It appears in our biology and architecture. For example, you think about a DNA strand or DNA molecule, even the most basic fundamental component for human existence, it follows the Fibonacci sequence. If you take the length and you divide it by the width of 34 divided by 21, it equals 0.618 or 0.618. So it is pretty much everywhere. Also, if you look at the human body, if you look at flowers, even storm patterns or hurricane patterns, it is also present there. In the human body, a lot of bodybuilding competitions usually subscribe to the Fibonacci spiral to appropriate kind of the ratios of biceps to shoulders to chest and so on and so forth. So it's very common in just generally in the human body as we're born, but also how we depict even standards of beauty, which I hate to say, but those tend to also follow the Fibonacci sequence, down to most bodybuilding competitions subscribing to that sequence to measure who the winner might be. Even from elbow to fingertips, a lot of times you will get 0.618, meaning if you take the total length of your arm and you divide it from elbow to fingertips, you also get 0.618. So here's Fibonacci in the S&P 500, guys. So what a lot of people will say about Fibonacci is that if you grab it from the origin of a move, so here, let's say here to the from the origin of a up move, let's say to the top of a supply move or the very top of the move, what you will get is these little Fibonacci retracements, and they say that a lot of people that subscribe to Fibonacci are traded consistently. And I do quite a bit, and I just pair it with supply and demand and other probability enhancers to make sure that I'm kind of on the right page. And then a lot of times I will use Fibonacci at the very end just to confirm kind of the context of what I'm looking at and correlated to Fibonacci. So what they'll say is like the levels will kind of respect Fibonacci a lot of times. So they will come down, respect the 25%. And I'm a big, for those of you who know me, I'm actually a big quarter theories guy, especially for Forex. But for example, here we can kind of see it, come down and test kind of like the 252-ish area, with some buffer. And you know, I've quoted I think David Warner on my channel a few times, but there's definitely like, you know, what I guess he calls like the butter areas, and you know 5275 kind of tests that area, so it overlays the quarter theory, and then it comes to 256 or 250, kind of testing the 255 quarter, and the quarters kind of go on a sliding scale up and down depending on what you're looking at. I'll make a separate video on that. I think I'll just stick to Fibonacci on this one, but basically you can see here how it comes down, kind of tests, and then comes down again tests the general 250 quarter area as well as a fib area, and then kind of takes off and goes from there. Some people say, well, where should I cash my profits or cash out of my position if I get into one of these fib levels? And a lot of times you can kind of, you know, use the opposing target area level, so either a classic just target, or when it hits, you know, an opposing kind of fib level, such as like here, like 75%. If you got in here in the like the 33 or better yet, that 25% area. And like I said, I respect quarters a lot. So if it matches a quarter in the fib, it's an additional enhancement for me in terms of getting in. So then you can take it to like the 75 area, and you can kind of see here how it then bounces and dances to like the 66 and then pulls back. So this is kind of a general example of like Fibonacci and kind of how I use it and how I pair with the quarter theory on top of like my supply and demand areas. Again, I'll keep saying this, I mostly use price action. I hardly ever use indicators, but if I'm ever like on the fence about taking a trade, then at that point I will use an indicator like Fibonacci and or quarters, and then lay it on top of that. But first I understand price action, the context of the market in which I'm looking at my price action, supply and demand levels at, and then I overlay the indicators just for an extra level of assurance or security, depending in the context of the market in which I'm looking into and the levels I'm looking at. So with that being said, I hope you guys found that helpful. If you did, feel free to hit the like button or comment below. That way I kind of know what you guys are interested in and what you guys are looking for or looking at, and it gives me a better idea of what to create more content about. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys did learn something. Feel free to hit the bell button underneath this video. That way you get notified next time I upload, and I will see you guys next time.